Alright, that's the end of the video. Hope you liked it.
During the making of this film, we try not to infringe upon any copyrights, so if you were offended by any way, you don't know what comedy is, and you don't deserve to be watching this movie. Thank you.
Oh, what's up, everybody? We're back for week 34, I believe, of 2016, and we are currently working on 24 working reps for the Saturday, Sunday, Monday strength work. 4 sets of 5, followed by a single set of 4, just working it up 1 rep per week at a time, and still knocking them out. That's pretty good stuff. Something you're going to notice this week is that on the deadlifts, I unwound the weights even more, so my maxes this week were actually at 205, and the reason I'm doing that is that I wanted to do something similar as what I've done with my overhead pressing, where my singles just weren't working for some reason. So I was like, okay, I'm going to drop the weights and work on some reps. So on the overhead pressing, I've been doing doubles. So on deadlifts, I'm going to be doing triples, and the reason for that is each time you bring the weight down and it hits the floor, it kind of jostles the bar in your grip, and that is where I had noticed problems controlling the bar previously. So I want to get more practice at controlling that bar off the floor. So I'm going to be doing sets of 3. This week we started with 205 on the bar, and we will be moving that up as we go. This week's music update is, you may remember last week I was jamming on Sepultura all week because they are from Brazil and the Olympics were in Brazil, so it got me thinking I should listen to Sepultura. So actually this week, believe it or not, I'm basically listening to Sepultura, but actually it's not technically them. It's a new band called Cavalera Conspiracy, which is comprised of the singer from Sepultura, the original singer I should say, and the drummer. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but those two are brothers. And there was actually a big falling out right after Sepultura had their Roots album released, where the band broke up and the singer left to do his own thing. But eventually, I guess the brothers made up, and now they're back together. And frankly, in my opinion, that was the reason Sepultura was so good, was because you had the one brother on drums, the other brother singing and playing guitar. You see that combination in some other good bands, notably Van Halen, where you had Alex and Eddie Van Halen, drums and guitar, and also in Pantera, where you had Vinnie Abbott and Daryl Abbott on drums and guitar as well. Something about that just seems to make for some good bands, I'll tell you what. Yeah, so if you want to check them out, I recommend checking out the album titled Inflicted. But definitely, if you have kids, it's not safe for kids, so use caution if that is the case. I think I'm actually going to give you guys a little sample coming up in a moment here, because I was jamming on it when I was doing incline press work. And pretty sure that's a section that didn't have any cursing, so that's going to be good stuff. And hopefully, I can get it past the YouTube censors, because you got to be careful when you put in stuff that might be copyrighted into a video if you don't alter it. But I've gotten it in before, so I think this is going to be okay in just a moment here. I know, jamming, right? That's pretty good stuff. That happened to be the last song on the album. It's called In Conspiracy. So, like I said, check it out. I'm digging it, and hope you guys do as well. This week was pretty fun because on, I think it was Wednesday, I had a doctor appointment, which meant that I got into work a little late, and on my way from the doctor's appointment to work, swung by the McDonald's to get a couple of cheeseburgers and a small order of French fries. The only problem was, well, I don't know if I should call this a problem, but when I walk into work, my colleagues were all like, "Hey, we got 8 dozen donuts." I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I ended up making a spectacular donut sandwich. Used 2 Boston cream donuts as the bun, and the middle was composed of a chocolate glazed donut, which was tremendous. So even though that sounds like calorie mageddon, believe it or not, I've actually been making a deficit this week because I have a trip planned at the end of next week, heading up north to the Buff, and I expect the eating up there to be both plentiful and completely untrackable. So I figure start this week, make a 1,500 calorie deficit or so, and then next week do another 1,500 to 2,000 calories, and that should cover any destruction that is wrought up in my homeland. Speaking of Wednesday, here's Wednesday's workout. It's also known in some cases as Hump Day! Oh yeah! Heaviest squat of the week, always on Wednesday. We got 322 half on the bar this day. Watching this one on the video, and was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It moves pretty quick. I like that. Oh yeah, speaking of that doctor appointment, at one point the doc said, yeah, you look like you're thickening up, and in a good way. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get as much, muscle mass on as I can before I turn 40, on the idea that it doesn't get easier to do so later. And he thought for a moment, and was like, I wish I'd have thought of that. But you'll note, I did not tell him what my target weight is, because you know how doctors can be with your weight going up. I figure if a doctor's going to be yelling at you about that, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. So hopefully one day I just walk in at like super obesity, and he's like, what the hell? And I'm like, I'm sorry, doc, I didn't mean it. I'm just huge. Oh, and for this week's aches and pain update, yeah, elbows are still pretty toasty. However, I don't know exactly what the fix is just yet. I've been trying a couple different things, but I know what it is not. And the fix is definitely not, just doing nothing. Because, for example, after waking up, after being still for, multiple hours on end, my elbows are usually like pretty stiff. And like with most things, you definitely got to start moving it, to get it warmed up and feeling better. So I'm doing some extra like air bicep curls and air press downs. I'll do like sets of like 40 or 50 just to like, crank some movement through the elbows. And that seems to help a little bit along with some stretching. So that is actually going to do it for this week on the lifting. As always, we're going to close with mother, the dodeca mother. Yeah, it's a good week of lifting, and hope you guys had a good week wherever you are. See ya. And we had another volume record, weekly volume record, set this week. First time in the 160,000 pound realm. And the total for the year is up to 4.17 million. Nice. And 2016 goals update. Really the only change to this screen this week is 10K chin-ups. We hit 7,000 for the year. Only 3,000 more to go. That's awesome. And the diet update for the week. Like I mentioned, I've been making a calorie hole this week, so calories were down a little over 200 per day on average. Although the weight was up like 0.8 pounds, but that is clearly due to the amount of salt I took in this week. Holy cow. But it was delicious. Next week is actually going to be another low week, but I just put the usual macros in for next because I don't know exactly how I'm going to be pulling calories out. I just kind of pull it out as I, think is good on that day, if that makes any sense. All right, peoples, take care. I'll catch you next week.